And Julie is joining. And just remind everybody that you are muted when you enter. So if you do need to say something, you will need to unmute yourself. So I do have 11 o'clock. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And so I have asked Andrea Sullenger if she would share some of her wisdom with us this morning. And I am very excited to hear what she has to share. I don't really know Andrea. She is a friend of mine. So I enrolled Carla Horn, who I've known for a really long time, and Carla has known Andrea. And my understanding is that Andrea has had success in this industry. She has been a leader in this industry. And she and her husband own Slow Creek Farm in Salem, Oregon. And she is a mom of several kids. Is it 5 kids?
Well, we count 7.
You count 7. Okay.
Yeah.
She's a mom of a lot of kids. So
Yes.
she's very busy, very busy. So Andrea, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit more and just share whatever you want to share.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for having me on, Debbie. And like I said, I don't know if you'll be impressed, but I'm happy to share my story, if you can call it that, or any tidbits that might be helpful to you guys. So, yes, we live in the Pacific Northwest. My husband and I, we have been married for, oh gosh, I kind of lost track. I think 28 years this year. And we have 7 kids, 2 biological kids, 3 adopted kids, and 2 bonus kids. The bonus kids came with the biological kids. They're their spouses. And so I have 5 kids that live in our house, and I do run a farm. My husband runs a construction company that he's had him and his brother in the family for decades. And so we're very busy. In fact, we joke most of the time that we're so happy to see Monday because we work so dang hard on the weekends. So anyway, and we have a million animals also. So I am the exact person that you should not be looking at to see if I would want to do this. In fact, I didn't want to do this. And I will tell you, I've been in the industry since 1997. I've had lots of failures and some successes. And I would attribute the successes to perseverance and to being able to adapt and become coachable. So if you cannot change and be coachable, you won't make it in any business, but especially network marketing. And I started out, you guys might know of a company called Party Light back in 1997, and it falls under the MLM category, but it was run very differently than a LifeWave business was run. It was direct sales party plan. And so that's what I kind of cut my teeth on. And I have had, I've been in party plan, I've been in true blue network marketing like we are now. I've done affiliate marketing. And then I've also had some successful businesses outside of that. And when Carla first approached me, Carla and I met through network marketing. We were in a company called Arbonne decades ago, and I actually was selling real estate at that time. And the reason Carla and I even became friends, because she lives in Arizona, was because we both earned a trip to Mexico. And she didn't have anyone going with her, and I didn't have anyone going with me because I had 2 small little kids. And so my husband had to stay home and be with them. And so they roomed us together, and we've been friends ever since 2000. I think 2004 was when we earned that trip. So long, long time. And Carla and I are just, we're just really tight. But that being said, 3 years ago when we adopted our 3 youngest kids, so my kids range from age 10 to 24, I really had to kind of cocoon and come into my own little world and drop everything and everyone aside from taking care of these 3 little kids, 2 of which have special needs. And I feel like we're just starting to come out of that, actually. And so last August, Carla called me, and we hadn't talked for a year. And a couple texts here and there, maybe a Facebook message, but she was just calling to say hi. And she's like, "Are you still alive?" And I said, "Yes, I think I'm alive, and I think I'm coming out of whatever this is." Trauma is really what it is when you adopt 3 kids from trauma, which all kids that are coming through adoption, they all come from trauma and they all come from hard things. And so anyway, we just had this like catch up conversation, and she said, "Hey, I want to tell you about this thing. I think it might help your boys." And it was LifeWave. And when she first started telling me, I'm definitely an alternative medicine person, if you will. Unless you break a bone, we're not going to the doctor. And so, when I was a kid, I grew up, you got a popsicle, you wash the popsicle stick off, your mom taped it around your finger with duct tape, and that was your splint, and on with the show you went. And so that's kind of how my mentality is. And so I was definitely open, but I knew there was a catch. I just knew. And I was like, "Oh, Carla," I go, "Do you even understand my life? It's not 40 hours a week. It's 120 hours a week all the time, every day, no matter what. And it's me and Dustin and some of our big kids that still live at home." And I can't even contemplate thinking about doing something else, let alone I don't have the energy or desire to do something else. And so I said, "I will look at it, but do not expect me to do this business. Do not ask me, don't talk to me about it. Just that's no, it's no." And so we talked probably on and off for a couple weeks, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, really just hit or miss, because that's how my life works. And I will tell you, like, I was like everybody else. I looked at the website or the tool or whatever she sent me, which I can't remember. I think it was the Onyx Coal site, because that's what we had at the time. And I looked at it and I was like, "Okay, yeah, but also I don't need details. I'm not the detail person. Just, does it work? Where do you buy it? How much is it? Thank you. Here's my credit card. Let's get on with the show." And so finally I said to her, "Well, it looks really interesting and I'm totally willing to try it, mainly for my kids." My one daughter had just been diagnosed with Hashimoto's, and had a bunch of other kind of just I guess health issues that were manifesting because and from that. And then my 2 boys. So my 10-year-old son is autistic nonverbal, and my 13-year-old son now is autistic ADHD. So God thought it would be really humorous to give me one on one side of the spectrum and the other one on the other side of the spectrum. So one doesn't stop talking and the other one never talks. And so I was willing to like try anything for them. And I finally just said, "Here's all the issues that I want to address with my kids. And if I could find something that helped me sleep through the night, I would give you $1,000,000. And she said, "Okay." And I said, don't send me a link." I said, "Just figure out with Debbie." She had told me about Debbie. I said, "Figure out what I need to order and call me back." And so she called me, and she said, "Oh, I think you really should go with the diamond package, and here's why." And she told me about all of it. And I will tell you that most of it probably was like white noise. It was like, "Wah, wah, wah. Yeah. And she said, "It's the most expensive one. I don't know if you want to do that, but you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck." And I said, "Okay, great. Here's my credit card." And that's how I came in. And like everybody, the patches came and I didn't know anything. And I was called Carla and I said, "They came. What do I think I texted her and I said it was like 4:30 in the afternoon. And I said, "What do I use to sleep?" And she said, "Oh, well, you didn't even get the sleep ones. You got the Eon. So use that tonight." And I'm like, "All right." So I put that on. I slept incredible, actually. And I said, "Then what do I do the next day?" And she said, "Well, let's just start with you." And so she guided me through it. And it was lots of little texts back and forth. And I gradually started like wrapping my mind around LifeWave and wrapping my mind around this technology and what it could possibly do and how to use them. But I share that because even somebody who gets this industry, that understands this, LifeWave is a lot of information and it's a lot of technology, and it's really easy to fire hose people. And lots and lots and lots of people, even the people that love detail, do not need all the detail at once. You can't even consume it all at once. It doesn't matter if they say they want it. You've got to give people bite-sized pieces. So that's my first tip. people like me, you would say, oh my gosh, she's been so successful. I've made multiple six figures. I've built thousands and thousands of people teams. But my bandwidth, if you will, would not take in any of that information. And I was also resistant. I didn't want to build something else, to be honest. And so but if you were to look at me versus somebody who's never been in network marketing, you'd say, oh, Andrea's got like a doctorate and so-and-so's like a kindergartner. But the reality is you got to treat everybody like a kindergartner. And some people move through kindergarten faster than others, but you just give people bite-sized pieces, bite-sized pieces. It'd be better to give everybody a little bit every day than all of it at once and walk away, because I promise you they will walk away. And so anyway, so fast forward, I started watching different things and I thought, gosh, this is so fascinating. I went on YouTube. I really love YouTube for farm stuff. So it's just kind of a natural place I go to. So I went there and I was looking up LifeWave, and it finally, I started to realize, like, I don't think I cannot tell people about this. I mean, mainly my friends. I still don't have some grandiose plan to be an SPD and to make X number of dollars. If that's what happens, great. But that's not my driving force. My driving force is to help my children heal, and to share it with friends and family that I love, that I know it could heal. And so I also know that when I said, okay, I will share this, it was a conversation between me and God. And I said, well, I don't really want to do this. And I felt prompted that I was supposed to do this. And I said, well, if I do it, then it's all yours. So whatever you do with it, God, that's what it is. And I'm going to be content with it. So if I make $87 a week, great. If I make 87,000 a week, great. And I just want to be led by God. And so that is the next thing I would say, is keep the main thing the main thing. And if you don't have a faith that directs and guides you, then figure out what does direct and guide you. I'm not trying to convert you to anything in any way, but for me, it's my faith. And what that also means to me as a busy mom is that I don't get sucked into a culture. And I don't believe LifeWave is like this, but I do believe that you can create this, or you can become like this. And it's not advantageous, I will tell you, because I've lived this. But you want to keep the main thing the main thing. And before you knew about LifeWave, LifeWave wasn't the main thing. So don't make LifeWave the main thing now of your life. And what I mean is, don't make that your existence. There's so much more. LifeWave is a tool. It's incredible networking opportunity to build community. It's incredible tool to heal, right? And to make an income. But I always tell my team, and this probably is very counterproductive for what you maybe have heard in the past, do not eat, breathe, and sleep LifeWave. Like what you were doing yesterday, if you were working in your garden, still do that. Like, you just incorporate LifeWave into the pockets of time that you have. And for some of us, including me, you might have to carve out some pockets of time, because you guys heard how busy I am. And, farming, it's like at the peak. So I don't have time to do anything with LifeWave, but I make time. And so, like, on the way to school, two of my kids go to a little private Christian school at our church. And so it's about 20-25 minutes. So they know in the morning, I put in my AirPod and I listen to something on the way there, and I listen on the way back. So when I'm down in my garden, I'm usually listening to something. Is it always LifeWave related? No, not always. Sometimes it's a book. Sometimes it's a YouTube video. Sometimes it's a Bible study. But I just always make sure I'm maximizing out my time. And I also try to make sure that I have balance. And the one thing I will say that you can see is, like, when somebody has balance in their life, they attract people. They're not chasing people. When someone doesn't have balance, they are in chase mode. And it is so unattractive to other people that are out there. They run from you. They're like, oh my gosh, I do not want to discuss your patches anymore. Like, knock it off. And so make sure that you keep the main thing the main thing. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let me say my next, I wrote down some notes of just things I wanted to share, and they're kind of just some random ramblings. So you guys can ask questions too, but I don't be attached to the outcome. That's the number one thing I could share with you for my success, is I am not attached to the outcome in any way. If somebody says they don't want to sign up, I say, okay. If somebody says they want to sign up, I say, okay. If somebody says they don't want the diamond, they want the platinum, I say, okay. If somebody says they don't want auto ship, I say, okay. I do not talk them into anything. Do I share what the best plan is, in my opinion? Of course I do. But I always agree with them with where they're at. Because if someone says they're not ready to say yes to LifeWave, what is the benefit of talking them into it? If I talk them into it today and I get them to sign up, yay, I got a PIB. But guess what? Tomorrow I didn't get a PIB. And tomorrow I'm going to have to talk them into it. And the next day I'm going to talk them into it. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And it would be a million times worse to bring someone onto your team, whether it's a preferred customer, a retail customer, um, what are we called? Ambassadors? Is that what we're called? Brand partners. Sorry, brand partners. Whatever it is, and have them sign up, and then all of a sudden unsign up. Do you know what I mean? Because they weren't really signed up mentally, and not use the patches, and then to be talking about how they didn't work, they tried it, whatever, versus delaying it. And that being said, sometimes we get excited about, oh my gosh, if I just get this one human to sign up, like she's going to be a rock star. Well, she could also not be a rock star. She could have something happen in her life and, go left. She could be slow to start. And I mean, I didn't even share this for like a month with anyone. And so if you were looking at me to be your rock star, if you were looking during that first month, you would have been disappointed in me. But now what's my title? I'm a senior
director. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, senior director.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I'm like, I honestly didn't even realize when I promoted, that's how unattached I am. And I don't mean to be unaware of what's happening in your business and what's going on, and to be unconnected. That's not what I mean. But I'm unattached because at the end of the day, I don't care what my title is. I mean, frankly, to any of you, who cares? What do you care? If I only say ridiculous, dumb things, it wouldn't matter if my title was, head honcho of LifeWave. Like, it's still ridiculous, dumb things, right? But if I was like saying amazing, smart things and whatever, a bronze, like, who cares? It's still amazing and smart. So, anyway, so I just don't attach. And the other thing too is, like, I had somebody the other day say to me, well, how do you get these people on auto ship? And I said, I don't. And she said, well, what do you mean? How would you get residual income? And I said, because it comes with time. It always comes with time. If you help people get on patches and you help people get success with whatever they're trying to get success with, right? Sleep, weight loss, energy, whatever, they're gonna continue on. The point is, you're helping them get success, and auto ship doesn't equal success. I don't know why people think that equals success. It doesn't. People can turn on and off auto ship with click of a switch. So that's not what success is. So do I want them eventually on auto ship? Yes. Does it make everything easier? Yes, of course. But I don't want to scare people out of the gate that, like, so they say no. Do you know what I mean? I just think sometimes we get hung up on these itty bitty things, like you're tripping over these little dimes, and it's like, man, let it go. Because people that are having success, they will keep reordering, and they will say, gosh, I think I need to get on this auto ship thing because I ran out of energy enhancer, and holy cow, I cannot run out of those. I was out for 4 days and I almost died. That will be the conversation that you can then say, I get it, Debbie. Let's get you on auto ship for that. Let me show you how it works. It's so easy. You're the one that controls everything. And then you get them on auto ship. It's not you talking them into anything. Okay, here's my next one. Undersell, over deliver. One thing that I do see that life waivers do that is not smart is they oversell. This patch is going to work within 10 minutes and you're going to drop 90 pounds by tomorrow morning. They say crazy things. Don't say crazy things. You can share stories, you can tell stories, but if you're sharing a story of like a 10-minute success, share one of a 6-month success too, because you don't know where that person is going to fall. And if they are literally in such a place of desperation that if this doesn't work in 10 minutes, they're done, then you're done, because it might not work for them. Like, the chances are high that it might not work in 10 minutes. So don't set yourself up to fail them with what their healing journey can look like. So always make sure you're sharing. So the three things you guys know, the three things you share are a tool, a testimony, and people. Those are the three things that you connect people to. You connect them to a tool, you connect them to testimonies, and you connect them to other people. That last one seems to be hard for some people, but what you do is, if I'm talking to Debbie and she's like interested or excited, or there's some kind of positive overture, and I'm connecting her with a tool, and then immediately I'm connecting her with a story that I believe would impact her, or stories, right? I'm not sending 35. I mean, I'm sending one or two. And then I'm also connecting her with another person in LifeWave that isn't me, because your friends and family do not look at you as an expert. They don't care what your title is. They don't care what these patches have necessarily done for you. They don't know. They don't care how much money you're making, whatever. Like, all the things we think are important are not important to your friends and family. I promise you. Do they like knowing that it helped you? Yes. But they can also use that against you. They can also say things like, well, but Debbie, you always have success because you eat so healthy, right? They can always chalk it up to something. And so you want to connect them with other people that do become the expert, right? So like, if I connect somebody with Debbie, I promise you, Debbie and I are saying the same things. Are we saying it differently? Probably, but we're saying the same things, right? And so if I connect somebody with Debbie and I go, oh my gosh, Debbie, or let's say, okay, so let's say I'm going to connect Debbie. So what I can do is, you can do it on a Facebook message, you can do it on a text, you can do it on the phone. And you just say, like if I was doing it on the text, hey, Debbie, it's a group text, right? Debbie and Carla. Debbie, I want you to be connected to my friend Carla, because I'm super busy this time of year, but Carla has had awesome success with the patches too. Totally different story than mine. But I think that she would be a wealth of knowledge for you. So you could ask questions inside of here, so we could both help you understand how things work. Carla, tell Debbie a little bit about your story, right? So I've edified Carla. I've built her up. Now Carla's this expert. Carla tells a little bit about her story. I like to text it, but I like to do it in audio voice. And then people go, oh yeah. And then Carla just audio voices back part of her story. I do it all the time. It also helps people feel connected and feel part of, like, oh, this is bigger than just Andrea. This is bigger than just whatever's happening in Salem. Oh, don't be the expert. Here's the other thing. It's so intimidating to actually be the expert and to know everything. And I literally, just this weekend, I was at the Vineyard having some wine with some friends, and they asked me something about LifeWave, and I really didn't know the answer. And I said, I don't know. And my other friend who's using LifeWave said, yeah, I don't know either. And I was like, it was great, because it lets down all the walls, right? Of like, if I come off knowing everything about everything, it's so intimidating, right? Like, I don't know if you guys feel like that, but I actually think that doctors sometimes have a harder time in LifeWave than us regular people. And if you ever heard me actually recruit somebody or enroll somebody, you would not be impressed, because I feel like to this day, I still fumble all over what the heck LifeWave is and how to explain it. And I just usually say something that is not impressive, and I'll just say, oh my gosh, I'm using these new light patches and they're freaking amazing. My energy's through the roof and I'm sleeping like a rock. Like, that's what I say. I don't say, oh, and then it's like infrared, and do you ever know how the sun works? And I mean, I don't go into all of those things, because why? What is the point of that? Like, and then what people do is, then when they come on board, they think they have to say all that, and they haven't learned all that because they haven't been here for 6-8 months. And so they're like, holy cow, I couldn't tell somebody about LifeWave. I don't even know what to say. Right? So don't be the expert. Okay, I already told you guys that one. Oh, I always teach my team like top-down selling, and top-down selling is what I call it as top-down selling, is you start at the top. And so some of you like to lead with the business, some of you like to lead with patches. It doesn't matter, but what you do, it might change depending on who you're talking to. Like, you might be talking to a girlfriend and say like, hey, I have been meaning to talk to you about something, because I've been doing this little side hustle thing, and I'm making about whatever. I'm making an extra $100 a month, or I'm making an extra $2,000 a month, or whatever it is. And I just thought it might be something that you could benefit from. Do you want to take a look at it? Like, simple, easy. You could do the same thing with the patches, right? Just tweak your language. But when you go to enroll someone, top-down selling is really important, because a lot of us, we make decisions for other people and what they can afford, right? We make decisions like, oh, well, she doesn't want to build a business, so she shouldn't come in as a diamond. Or, oh, she's on a fixed income, so she's going to need to start at bronze. Or, oh, I mean, whatever it is, like, you make up all sorts of stories for people. And don't tell me you don't do it, because I still do it to this day. We do that all the time. What I will tell you is, the first person I recruited, her name is Lori Spielman. She's a director on my team. And I was delivering microgreens to her, and I've known her for years. And Lori's in her 70s. I can't remember how old she is, but she said, hey, what have you figured out? What are you going to do with Avery and her Hashimoto's? And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. My friend just introduced me to these infrared light patches, and I'm going to try them because the testimonies are like off the hook with it. And she goes, what is it? And I go, oh, it's called LifeWave. And she goes, what? How does it work? And I go, I don't know, Lori, I can't explain it. I'll send you a link. You can look at it. And I literally got in my car and drove off. And then the next stop, I thought, oh, I better text Lori that link. So I texted her. I said, hey, go here. It's start now, start X39 now, or whatever it was, .com back then. And I said, there's a 2-minute video. Just check that out. And I go, that'll answer your questions. And the next day she goes, okay, I want to try these. And I go, try what? And I thought she was talking about what I'm growing. And I go, what are you talking about? And she goes, I want to try these patches for me and Mark. And I go, oh, well, I don't know how to do that. Hold on. And so I called Carla, and I'm like, Carla, she wants to try these patches. She's like, all right. She tried them. She loved them. I put them in the mail because I wasn't going to be out delivering to her for a while. And I can't even remember what I sent her. I think Eon X39 and IceWave, maybe like 2 days of each or something. It was like, I'm not sending crazy amounts, but I sent them to her and I said, okay, text me when you get them so that I can tell you how to use them. And I don't like write out a whole long explanation, because I want people to be talking to me about what to do and how to do it. And then she got them, they used them, they loved them. She said basically the same thing I said. There is no way in heck I'm doing this as a business. Don't ask, don't talk to me about it. I'm not doing this, da, 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 da. I said, okay, that's fine. Yeah, like, I'm not either. Like, I'm not doing this as a business. I'm just trying to help my kids. And she said, okay, well, what package should I order? And I said, okay, well, here, let me go on my website with you, because I don't really know. I said, but okay, let's go. So she went on there. I told her where to go. She clicked on it, and I said, okay, well, here's the ones. Obviously you get the biggest bang for your buck with diamond. That's the one I did, but I know it's a chunk of change. So you just decide whatever you want, and then you just put what you want in the cart. And she goes, okay. And I go, do you want me to walk you through it more than that, or you want to do it? She goes, I'll do it. I go, okay. Later that night, I had just come in from whatever, outside watering animals or whatever. And I got a thing on my email. You have a new diamond sign up. And I called her back immediately and said, Lori, you signed up for the diamond package. What the heck? And she goes, I know, but if I'm going to use these, I'm going to use them, and Mark's going to use them. It's the best bang for the buck. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And on with the show we went. And that's basically how the next couple of signups went. It really was like that. It wasn't, did everyone sign up diamond? No, of course not. Of course not. I've had people that were like, okay, I signed up. And I'm like, you did? I don't even see your name. Oh, because they signed up as a preferred customer. So I don't babysit people. I do check in with them about like patching, like how patching is going. Like, hey, how's your patching going? You got any questions? What's up? Tell me like something good that you've noticed. And I always ask people, tell me something good that you've noticed, because it helps you help them build their story. And like, if they came in because they wanted to heal their rotator cuff, and that hasn't gotten fixed yet, they kind of dismiss the other good things that have happened, right? So you want to highlight the things that have happened, right? So like, if they're like, well, my shoulder's still kind of achy, but I'm sleeping like a rock. You can say, oh my gosh, that's exciting. Okay, that's awesome. You got to write that down. You're sleeping like a rock. I have so much energy. Like, you got to walk people through it, because they don't necessarily know that they're creating their story, right? Especially if there's somebody that says, I'm not doing this as a business. Get away. No, that's not what's happening. Now, obviously, Lori changed her mind because she's a director, and her and her little team, man, they just keep cranking it out. And I'm just like, what on earth is happening? So it's awesome. So you just never know. Also, that being said, don't make up stories for people that tell you they're not going to do something, right? And that includes if they say, no, they're not ready right now. Whenever somebody tells me, you know, I just don't think they work, or I'm not ready right now, I always say, okay, that's totally fine. I said, can I ask you one more question though? And I've, in 27, 28 years, I've never had anyone say no. And they always say, sure. Why do they say sure? Because they're curious what your question is. And I say, I totally get that you're not ready and you don't feel like they've worked, but do you mind if I keep sharing stories that I think you would like and appreciate along the way? Do you mind if I check back in with you in 6 months and just see how your shoulder's doing? Right? So you never know when people are going to be ready. You guys all know life changes on a dime. You could, you know, not come home tonight. Your spouse could not come home tonight. Your house could burn down. Your kid could be diagnosed with something. You could lose your job. And so people's decision making changes on a dime also. So you never want to just chalk it up to, oh, that person's in the no column and I'm never going back there with them. And then the last thing I wrote on here to share with you guys is this, and that is I did a little training for my team on this, that in LifeWave, because we have periods, which are like basically our cycles, right? Sunday to Monday. Is that how they go? Monday to Sunday? Monday to Sunday. So what happens is on a Sunday, you could promote to manager or promote to whatever. And on a Monday, you're not that. And it kind of wigs people out, right? And so what I always tell people is this: whenever you're promoting to whatever it is, no matter what position it is, you've just got to know that typically you promote with the bare minimum. So if to get to manager, it's that you're an active gold, you have 4 silvers, 2 on each side that are active, that's usually when you promote, right? You promote right when it hits. And so you've got 4 baby fledgling people using patches, and you are probably new using patches or new to sharing using patches. And so what that means is then the next day, somebody might not be active. Do you know that nobody really knows that you go from manager to not manager, senior director to director? Nobody knows that. I went to senior director, and the next morning I woke up director, and I laughed my butt off about it because I just thought, if you're hung up on rank advancing and whatever you think that title means, you're going to be so on this emotional roller coaster, because that's how it works. So when you promote with the bare minimum. You build and grow into it after you promote. So am I really a senior director? No, I'm not. Do I have 2 directors? Yes. Are they fledgling directors? Yes, because they just hit director, right? One of them stronger than the other, which is always how it goes. One leg always outpaces the other. One team always outworks the other. It's just how this business works. And so don't get hung up in, oh my gosh, I made it, I didn't. I made it, I didn't. I'm there, I'm not. You just keep sharing and keep going. And that being said, know that there's going to be months where you share and everybody says yes, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm great at this. And other months you're going to be like, I've shared with no one. Like the month of March, I actually was sick for 21 days, like sick in bed, sick. And I've not been sick like that in a long, long time. And don't get me started on why I think I was sick, but just read Renita's post. It's all those reasons. And so I was sick, and being sick, that sick in bed, I was like barely taking care of things for my family, let alone the farm, and certainly nothing with LifeWave. And so I recruited no one in March, 0 people. And I kind of beat myself up about it for a second. And then I had to realize, like, that's just the way it goes. That's life. Sometimes you're on and sometimes you're off, but you just got to know, like, it's okay. It's a marathon. You just got to stay on the path. So those were the things I had on my list. I'm happy to share anything else you want. Hopefully you got some nugget out of it that will help you with wherever you're at in your journey. And if not, I apologize.
No, it was fantastic. It was really great. I loved hearing all of your little nuggets and keeping us grounded and balanced. And I know that's something that I could work on. And so, yeah, I took a lot of notes, and
good.
I'm just going to open it up if anybody has a question or a comment before we close out.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. That was really great. And I love that. I love your realness. I love your simplicity. I know I tend to sometimes, try to make it bigger than it is. And we have 5 kids, and it's just life's crazy, right? But you do have to get the balance. I really appreciated that, because sometimes I tend to beat myself up when I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing this, and then I'm like, what? So when you talked about the balance and attracting people, that really hit home with me.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing too, you guys, is just remember, like, some people are really, really ripe, right? Like, what's that old saying? Like, there's red tomatoes, green tomatoes, and rotten tomatoes, right? And there's some people that really are not meant to be on your team, and you wouldn't want them on your team. So sometimes doors do close, and that's okay. It's okay. I mean, not every single person can be in LifeWave, right? I mean, truly, some people are not going to get it. They're not meant to be here. They're building something else, and they are over there. Like, okay, great, go over there. I remember I used to get so frustrated because I didn't understand why people didn't see this vision and get it. And I realized, like, okay, but if they all see the vision and they all get it, who's going to pump my gas? Which now in Oregon, we finally can pump our own gas. But back then, I was like, yeah, no, who's going to pump my gas? Who's going to, take the check deposit at the bank? Which I know now, you can tell how old I am. Now you don't go to the bank. You just do everything from your phone. But, all those things. And so, like, it's okay if people don't get it. And, like, you need people that are preferred customers. You need people that are retail customers. You need people that are diamonds and building and, like, get out of the way. I'm going to do it with or without you. And then you also need the people that are going to hang out and just stay active on both legs and just be happy consumers, but as brand ambassadors, right? Like, you need those people. The other thing I will say, if you're building, please don't make the mistake of thinking that I want to say even managers are taking care of their people. That's not true. And it's not that they don't want to, but they don't always know how to. So if you think managers are taking care of their people and you are never reaching out to new people, you are shooting yourself in the foot, because most of the time, the teams I've built, the biggest builders were people that I did not bring in.
Mhm.
And you want to connect with all those people, even if it's an email. Hey, I'm here, and I just want you to know, like, if you ever need anything, just call me, text me, whatever, Facebook me. I Facebook friend requested you, whatever. But connect with other people on your team, and don't assume that when you send your managers something that they share it with everybody, because they don't. You want to know why only your managers get on phone calls? It's because only managers are getting it, right? So you guys know what I'm saying. Like, you just want to dig into the team. You will find incredible builders if you dig into your team.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That was great wisdom. I appreciate that very much.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad it helped.
This is Gail
slow
Katz
builder
in
too, so I
Dallas.
love it.
Thank you.
Oh, this is Gail Katz in Dallas. I just want to thank you. Your wisdom is just so helpful. And I appreciate the fact that you explained you're not real into the details. And I kind of feel that way too a lot. So I found it to be really encouraging.
Yeah, thank you. You know what I always tell people is, if they're like a detailed person, I just say, like, oh my gosh, I got your back. Not that I'm going to help you, because I am not going to help you, but here's where you're going to go. www.thisisitteam.com or thisisitteaminfo.com or whatever. And I go, listen, you can spend the next 45 days in there. You have a great time. And as soon as you're ready to rock and roll and make money, then you let me know, because I can help you with that. And people do, because, like, I had somebody the other day say to me, can you help me get my pay portal set up? And I said, absolutely not. And she goes, what? And I go, no. I go, I can tell you where to go to watch all the links, to watch the videos. I mean, like, I'm not going to recreate the wheel. I'm not here to babysit. I'm not here to recreate the wheel. And
Right.
no, Yeah. I will just tell you guys briefly, the patches have helped my kids incredibly. Incredibly. My nonverbal son has said a few new words. And if you've never been around special needs kids, these things may not seem significant to you, but they are significant. I know we're so over time, but I just want to just share this, that even last night, he started petting our St. Bernard. He acts like we don't even have animals most of the time. And he started loving on her and petting her. And he was playing, I have a little cockapoo that he was playing with the other day with a toy. It's like, there's things that are turning on in him that have never turned on. And my very, very, very verbal son he is managing his emotions. And it took 3 weeks of solid patching before I noticed a difference. And it is incredible. He also has something wrong, and I don't know exactly what it is, where he just sweats a ton. And it's not like something where I need to have him checked. I know it's not that, but and he has been checked because, of course, the state makes you jump through all sorts of hoops. But I started using the SP6 patch on him, and just in the last 2 days, it's really started making a difference. And his hands aren't clammy, and he's not sweating, and so he's not waking up at night with just crazy sweats. And I just realized, like, I started using them for my hot flashes, and they were working. And I thought, well, I don't know. I mean, he's got hormones too, and he's going through puberty. So I was like, let's put that on there and see what happens. And so that was really cool. My daughter with Hashimoto's has started losing weight, which is not the end goal. But of course, if you need to lose weight or have gained weight and like really quickly, inexplicably, and she's also getting married, not this August, but next August. So she's obviously freaking out about it. She just told me yesterday, Mom, I started doing the patches the way you told me, which she's been the hardest person to get to do the patches. And she said, I've lost 9 pounds. And she's only literally been consistent for a week, 1 week. And I'm like, see, I told you. Yeah. So anyway, I have a million things I could tell you. They have helped our animals immensely. And yeah.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Andrea?
Awesome. Yeah. Hi, Britt Marie.
Yeah. Hey, how are you? It was a great
Good.
talk. And I love the things, where you basically talk about don't over talk. Don't talk too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I have a tendency to want to give them all. And I don't. So I will give that. But which patches do you start your special needs kids with?
Well, yeah, so I don't usually do the X39 on them, which I kind of go back and forth. Like, they're kids, so they have tons of stem cells.
Right.
So I go back and forth for that reason. But what I use is energy enhancer on both of them because it balances the brain. And I remember when I first read that energy enhancer would be good for ADHD, I was like, this has got to be a misprint because this kid does not need no energy. And it's not that it gives him energy, it's that it's balancing his brain so he can calm down enough so he can assess the situation and better respond with the correct emotion, right? And so so it's helped with that for him. The energy enhancer, I mean, I wear them because I do want the energy and it's incredible. And I always tell people, you think they're not working, you just go off of them for a few days and you'll see how much they were working. So I do both of those. And then we do carnosine at night for both my boys. And of course, when I hear a sniffle come along or if they're around someone not feeling well, I slap glutathione on them all. My little niece was over and she coughed one too many times. And I was like, everybody in the bathroom, and slapped glutathione on everybody because I was like, we are not getting sick. And my nose is running from allergies. I have played around with Eon with my ADHD child, and it does work. But what I have found is that I have to kind of go easy because by the end of the day, he's like a little egg that could just crack open because he's worked so hard to just, do all the right things. And so the patches for him are really draining. Like they take a lot of energy. So his detox symptom is he comes home and goes to sleep. And that's okay sometimes, but also not, because we live on a farm. So I'm like, you can't go to sleep. I need you to do all your chores. So I try to just pace myself. I always tell people, start slow with the patches, go slower. You can always add, listen to your body. You know, like I had major detox symptoms the first, I think it was the 4th or 5th day, and I wasn't drinking enough electrolytes. I wasn't drinking any electrolytes. I didn't even know about electrolytes. And I have a million diagnoses. Over the years, I've been diagnosed with, I can't even tell you, I've lost count with the amount of autoimmune issues, and a precursor to blood cancer and just all sorts of things. And so I should have known better, but I'd never heard about electrolytes, which tells you about our medical system. So I got on electrolytes per Debbie and Carla's advice, like on day 5, and then I felt a million times better within 5 hours. But on day 4 or 5 of patching, I thought I might actually just like die. I felt like I had the worst flu of my life, which I know for me was detox. So I just tell people, like, go slow. And I always tell people, you know, drink electrolytes, and you can always add patches, and you can also always take them off. So like carnosine gives me a rash if I wear it more than 6 hours. So I don't wear it more than 6 hours.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why it gives, I mean, it's clearly doing something. It's detoxing something, but
Yeah. Good,
Very
good advice. Awesome. Okay. Anybody else? Question or comment? Okay. Well, Andrea, I just want to thank you again. This was really awesome. And hopefully maybe sometime in the future you'll come back with some other little words of wisdom.
yeah, I'm
Thank
always
you,
happy
Andrea.
to share. You're welcome. You're welcome. You guys have a great day.
Thank you so
You
much.
too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.